Hello there. I'm so happy that you've joined us on the Halo42 Halos Angels affiliate program. So before we get to selling, I wanted you to understand and to come to appreciate and love the main ingredient that Halo42 is built off of. Halo42 is built off of an ingredient called Copaiba. Copaiba, it grows out of the Amazon. It's a big, wonderful, beautiful looking tree. Each tree actually produces 400 gallons of Copaiba a year. And the way that Copaiba is harvested is that you stick a tube inside of the tree. You bore a hole inside of the tree once a year, and a whole bunch of this sap drips out, and it's harvested and collected. And then we actually source throughout different areas, through different tribes all along the Amazon of the Brazil side of the Amazon, not up in Peru, but in Brazil. So that is how Copaiba is harvested. That's the trees that it comes from. There is also an African Copaiba, but we do not use that. We use the Amazonian Copaiba. So Copaiba has been the cornerstone of Halo42. And the reason is because Copaiba actually has a wonderful way of blending the gap between mental health and beauty. And that's something that in Halo42 we've always been very adamant about. Because Halo42, the logo and everything, the halo rainbow is only visible at 42 degrees. And so you have to shift your perspective to be able to see that. And what we're finding is that inside of skincare and inside of beauty, the biggest thing that we can help people do to really fully step into and embody their beauty is actually a shift of your perspective. It's within a shift of your perspective, not only how you view beauty as a science, but also how you view beauty internally, that is going to help you to radiate your fullest. And the way that we're shifting it with science is that by attacking inflammation of the skin. So the way Copaiba works is that it is actually the single strongest anti-inflammatory known to man that is produced out of nature. In fact, this salve is actually more anti-inflammatory, has more anti-inflammatory properties than the leading selling medicated anti-inflammatory for the skin. So dermatologists all over the world at some point are going to be recognizing and hailing Copaiba and hopefully Halo42 for recognizing and bringing it to the world. So we hope that through understanding this essential component of Halo42, that you're able to see a higher purpose, that this purpose is actually about bringing education into the world, about this new ingredient that is so wonderful and so tremendous. It comes from God's great planet, and we're able to harvest it without any sort of impact to the trees. So they just keep on growing. You don't even have to kill a tree for it. Each one produces 400 gallons a year. So how did we come about and how did we learn about Copaiba? Well, we learned about Copaiba because 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with a lung condition. And this lung condition had me to where I was on $5,000 of inhalers a month. But not only that, I was also diagnosed with a disorder that was going to have me on oxygen by the time I was 36. So I became very emotionally, mentally unstable and very depressed. And I was very physically out of whack, right? And so those two areas of my life, I had to shift perspective in order to fully regain back power in my life. And Copaiba actually helped me along the lines of both. So Copaiba I learned about as an alternative to CBD, because if you take it internally, it can actually calm the central nervous system down. But the way that it calms the central nervous system down is different than CBD, because the way this essential oil calms the central nervous system down is it calms the cardiovascular system down. And because it calms the cardiovascular system down, it was able to give my lungs enough time to rest and recover so that they could lose the inflammation, so that they could lose the stress response, so that they could start responding to the physical demands that I was trying to put them to in order for me to do my first Ironman triathlon. Ultimately, Copaiba being the aid in my recovery and my transformation led me to when I was meeting up with Tim Quinn and discussing the potentials of a beauty line and a brand called Halo42, that when we stumbled upon this ingredient in the story, we recognized that this had the potential to really impact a lot of people, because this natural ingredient, when used on the skin, can heal all sorts of skin issues. That's one thing. But two, it can also reduce the inflammation, which is ultimately the number one concern as it pertains to beauty and makeup. How do we get rid of the inflammation? You can't cover that up, right? You have to take that away. That's something that you have to take away. And doing that is through a product that is anti-inflammatory in general. So it's good to always mix up your whole life with a whole bunch of things anti-inflammatory, both internal and external. And Copaiba is that external solution for people. This Copaiba-based eye oil, body elixir, face and body elixir, the washes, they will all help people to restore themselves to their natural state so that they can radiate their best selves, and so that then they can use the makeup to accentuate and highlight the beautiful, wonderful person that they are. So go out there, enjoy Copaiba for yourself, share it with the rest of the world, and join with us in this mission to share this ingredient, to educate the community about this ingredient and the people that are in need and wasting their money with medicated stuff that's not working, right? So let's get in there and let's actually make a difference. Copaiba.